The Three Faces of Frasier is the 21st episode of the 7th season of Frasier. This is directed by Pamela Fryman, and as always, there will be spoilers from now as I go through the episode chronologically and share some thoughts. It's a good episode. I don't think it's necessarily the funniest. There is comedy, of course, but it's maybe not the funniest, but it's still a really enjoyable episode. And it starts off with a bit of mystery, as Frasier is taking everybody to a fancy restaurant, and he won't say why. So when he's there, it's Roz, Daphne, and Martin. Niles is supposed to be there as well, but he had a reason to not be there. And it turns out Frasier is being immortalised in the restaurant. They have caricatures of famous faces, and it's finally time for his picture to go on the wall. And they unveil the caricature, and he has a massive forehead. I'll be honest, I've never really considered Frasier to have a massive forehead before, but kind of once you see it caricatured, you can kind of see it. I thought they were going with a sort of, he has a big head because he's this really knowledgeable psychiatrist. No, Frasier is apparently very insecure about his forehead. And we're back at the apartment, and we have quite a lovely scene, but an awkward scene as they're talking about their insecurities, which I think was a great way to highlight to the viewer that everybody has an insecurity of some sort. And Daphne mentions that she wished she had blue eyes, and Niles compliments her eyes. And it maybe felt a little awkward, but then Daphne made it beautiful but more awkward because she then complimented Niles' eyes in return, which was really sweet and temporarily made it less awkward because she was returning the sentiment. But then it got a little bit awkward and Daphne dismissed herself. And we'll come back to Daphne in a little bit. Frasier and Niles then go down to the restaurant. Frasier is determined to say something to Stefano to get the picture changed. And he does, after referring to himself as Frasier Cranium, which I have to say made me laugh quite a lot. And the artist is actually apparently at the restaurant that night, so they make another picture. And Frasier's very happy with this picture because this person doesn't have a big forehead. And I say this person because it kind of looks a lot less like Frasier, to the point where if somebody saw that caricature, they might not immediately think that it's of Frasier. So Frasier hatches a new plan. He goes to Alice's birthday party, and Roz had got the idea from Frasier to hire a cartoonist to do pictures of the children, which I have to say, for a young child's birthday party, doesn't seem like the most entertaining thing, but nevertheless, this is what she does, and Frasier sits for the caricature, and he takes it back to Stefano's, and Stefano's mother sees it, and she gets very upset. And it turns out she was the artist, and Frasier said some unkind things about the artist, and she was upset, and then Stefano got upset at Frasier, and it was a chaotic scene. And then a really random part of it was with Stefano trying to remember where he recognised Niles from. It was a very odd part of the episode. It was, I guess it was kind of funny, but it felt like something was missing there. And we're near the end of the episode now. It has basically just been Frasier obsessing over this caricature. And Martin offers some words of wisdom. He suggests to Frasier that maybe because other aspects of his life aren't going so well, he was dating somebody, that didn't work. He has not the greatest ratings down at KSEL, but he had the opportunity to at least control this picture. And Frasier thought about that and realised, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And it does. When we lose control in aspects, we try and find control in other ways. And I thought it was quite a good bit of information from Martin. And it's explained in a little bit more detail about shifting focus when you can't control other aspects of your life and you obsess over something. And then Daphne comes in, and she has been obsessed with trying to find this oat bran. And I think it's very clearly implied there that she is so confused about her feelings about Niles, and then her wedding to Donnie, and her inability to control her feelings towards that, or indeed the situation. So she focuses on finding oat bran instead, which was funny, but I think quite emotional as well, because she's clearly in a difficult situation. She clearly can't talk with anybody about it. I mean, I feel like maybe she could talk to Roz about it, but obviously it's a difficult time for her. But I'll say no more than that. It's a good episode. Nothing wrong with it. Really enjoyable. And as I said, there is definitely comedy in there, but it's maybe not the funniest. But in general, it's a decent episode. And I feel like the thing is, well, Frasier knew he was going to be getting a caricature, or the portraits are like that. So I'm surprised that he was surprised, and I'm also surprised that he didn't think, well, actually, it's a big head because I have a big brain. Obviously, the episode would play out very differently if that's what he thought. Well, no, not necessarily. He could have initially gone down that route, and then somebody else could have pointed, "Oh, I thought it was because you had a big forehead," and then making him feel insecure. Either way, that's not what they decided to do, and I don't have any issues with what they ultimately decided. The Three Faces of Frasier is ultimately not a bad episode.